You do not need to save $1 million or more to reach financial independence. There is another way to reach financial independence, and if you want to, retire early. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. What we're going to be talking about today is not any kind of like multi-level marketing, no scams, no get rich quick. These are legitimate options for you to ramp up your journey to financial independence like we have. We're also going to show you how we have used this strategy to ramp up our plans for financial independence so that we can retire in 4.5 years when we turn 55. This video is for everyone. We started this journey. We were $1 million in debt. We had zero savings whatsoever, and we're still on track to retire early at 55. So hang tight and we'll get right to it. Welcome everybody. I am Wendy and I am one half of the House of Five podcast. If you are new here, welcome to our house. And if you're returning, we're so glad you are here. We are all about helping moms and dads on the road to financial independence, helping them save more, spend less, dump debt, build wealth, and doing it all while living a joy-filled life. And if you haven't subscribed, would you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give our channel some love. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there and we could really use your support. If you're looking over here and saying, what is going on with her skin? I just crossed off a bucket list item and got my very first tattoo, and it's a doozy. It's a big one. It goes down the top of my arm all the way up my neck, and it's on my shoulder, and it goes to the front a little bit. All of these are flowers and 2 butterflies, and they represent my children, me and my husband, as well as his mother who passed away and my mother who passed away. So something that I've wanted for myself for a really, really long time. It's got this wrap on it right now, so it's healing. But I'm super excited to get it. It was a big purchase, but it is something that we planned for and saved for because this journey is not about deprivation. It is about intentional spending. It is about living your best life, but doing it all very purposefully. So again, when we started this journey, we were in $1 million worth of debt. That was about 5 years ago. We had $1 million worth of debt. We had zero savings whatsoever. We had no plan. We figured we would be working until we were in our 70s, and it was a very, very hopeless situation. But we found the financial independence community almost by accident. I was in a moment of despair and desperation because I was crashing and burning at my job as a career. I had my own law practice, and I was burnt out beyond belief. I was not doing the best for my children, and I was not being the best that I could be for my clients. And I knew I was headed for disaster. I needed to do something. Everything that I was putting into it just wasn't enough. And so I started where everyone starts. I went to the interwebs and I started doing a search for, online income. How could I create some sort of business so that I could be home with my children? In searching for this lifestyle where I could earn an income so that I could stay home with my boys, I stumbled upon the Mad Fientist, and I will link his site actually down below. He was this engineer who was able to retire early in his 30s, and it blew my mind. And the way that he did that was he saved more than 50% of his income. And it just really was a light bulb moment for me because I thought if someone who is earning just a normal income as an engineer can save 50% of their income, what is it about whatever it is we're doing with our lawyer income, with my husband's income, making more than, double 6 figures, why we couldn't do better than we were. And so that was the first step in our shift in our mindset about money. It was out of that mind shift that we started planning. We started thinking about what it was that we wanted for our future. And what we ultimately came up with is that we wanted to retire early. We wanted to retire when our kids were still young, and we wanted to be able to just have income, but do whatever we wanted to do with them, travel, whatever we wanted to do. We did not want to be working into our 70s just to support ourselves. So that was the seed that started it all. At the time, we were 46, so we gave ourselves a 10-year plan to reach financial independence. We chose age 55 because at 55, Curtis is eligible for his pension from the school district. It's likely that he will not retire at 55. I would like to retire early. He will probably wait until he's more like 65 just because he enjoys teaching. But at 55, he will have the option to draw his retirement. Now, the traditional path to financial independence or FIRE is to save 25 times your expected expenses at retirement. That number comes out of what's called the Trinity study, which I will link down below, where they looked at the probabilities of running out of money depending on how much you had, then utilizing a safe withdrawal rate of 4%. In the study, using that formula, you could then draw at retirement 4% every year, live off of that, and your money would last you in perpetuity. I'm going to link up above a video that I do a bigger deep dive into figuring out your own retirement number. Now, we knew that the monthly income amount that we were going to need was $7,000. Once we knew that amount, we had a second light bulb moment. And that second light bulb moment for us was we didn't need to save millions of dollars. What we needed was to produce the monthly income that we would need at retirement. Step one is going to be determining what that number is for yourself. Now, this number is an estimate, and it's going to be based on your best guesses given things like inflation, health insurance if you're going to need it, whether your kids are still going to be as home. So it makes sense to do what you can do now to get those expenses down to as minimum as possible. So lowering your housing costs, paying off cars, having no debt, reducing your spending, possibly look into nomadic living or geo arbitrage or moving to a lower cost of living area. You want your monthly expenses at retirement to be as low as possible. So maybe you decide that you want to pay off your house, and that's part of your roadmap. For us, we knew that we wanted to have at least $7,000 a month. We live on that now, and that's still with some things like student loans and living in a high cost of living area. We've gotten our expenses just about as low as they can go. So that's the number that we have come up with. From there, then you want to subtract any streams of income that you already know that you're going to have at retirement. So for us, that was my husband's pension. We also have another income stream that's for our boys. 4 of our boys are adopted from foster care, and they get a subsidy that helps our household provide for them since all 4 of the boys were high risk. So we'll have that as well. Up until each one turns 18, all 4 of our boys will still be with us when we retire, so we will have that stream of income. And we have a plan for when each one of those streams expires, and that's explained in the video I just shared with you a few moments ago. So we have those streams. What's left after that is a gap of $3,300. We do not include Social Security in this number. We believe that we'll have Social Security when it is time for us to qualify for it or meet the age limit for it. However, we're counting that as strictly gravy. When it comes, if it comes, how much it comes in, all of that's just going to be extra. So you may opt to count that in your calculations, but you don't necessarily have to. So that's step 2, is determining what streams of income you already know are going to be in place at retirement. Now, the final step, or step 3, is to then create additional streams of income to fill that gap. And so what I'm going to go over now is several of the ways that we have determined that we are going to fill that gap. and we'll go over them one by one. We're going to be talking about things like dividend income, rental income, business income, investment income. First, we're going to talk about dividend income. Investing in dividends is a small part of our portfolio. Now, right now, our balances in those accounts are pretty low, so we're not getting very much in those. We're only getting right now a few $100s a year, but we will be adding to those more and more so that when we are retired, it's an additional stream of income that we'll have to fill that gap. But if you wanted to solely live on dividend income, you could do that and reach your number. So for instance, if you knew that you needed $40,000 a year to live on, you would need to invest in a dividend account at least $1 million that was going to have a yield of at least 4%. There are dividend funds out there that are stable, that have been around a long time, that predictably pay 4% or more. Now you got to do your own research and take a look at that. And on my screen, I'm going to show you how I go into my Robinhood app and figure out what the yield is on a particular stock or fund. Now that may seem daunting as well, putting $1 million into something that's going to give you the yield to live on. That puts you right back in the scenario of the traditional problem of not being able to save that much money before you want to retire. Well, the reason that I'm sharing this is because you may not necessarily need to save the whole amount. Maybe you are like us and you have additional streams of income and you only need to fill a certain gap. And so you'll perform the same exercise in determining how much you need and then working your way backwards to figure out how much you need to save. So your homework for this step is to do your own research and take a look and see if you can find a few different stocks or funds that have a decent yield and make sure that it's been predictable or consistent, because you're going to be making a decision based upon that. All right, the second way that you can fill this gap is with rental income. Now this is the major route that we have chosen. We currently have 5 rentals. Each one is cash flowing after expenses about $250 or more. It just depends on certain expenses that come in every month. But on average, we are getting about $250 a month per rental. So consistently, $1,250 is what we have right now coming in from rental income from the 5 properties. So if we're looking at our calculation of needing $7,000 a month, we already have $3,300. Now we can take off an additional $1,250. That leaves us a gap now of $2,050. Our plan for our rental income is to actually increase that. We do have plans to get more rentals. We are just waiting for the right opportunity to do that. But the plan is to increase that rental income to help fill that remaining $2,000 gap for ourselves. I have a video that I'm going to share up there where you can take a look at how we decide on choosing properties and adding it to our investment portfolio. Now, one of the final ways that you can create income for yourself is via business income. I'm not talking about creating a business that you're going to continue to work at once you retire. I am talking about creating a business that's going to provide you with residual income or ongoing income at retirement. That is our plan as well. So the next vehicle that we are utilizing to help us with this plan is growing our business. The primary business that we have is House of Fi, and we have a couple different ways that we are earning income through our personal finance business. We have this YouTube channel, we have a blog, we have some books that are on Amazon. We also have affiliate income that we get from that, as well as income from our Etsy store where we sell digital products. All of those are different ways that we can create income for ourselves, and once it's there, it's there. So with the blog, once it gets to a certain point, it's going to produce ad income, and I won't have to worry about it at retirement any longer, because once it reaches that point, then I'll have someone else writing things for me to keep new things flowing into it. Same thing with our YouTube channel. Once it becomes monetized, we have these videos out there that are going to be out there in perpetuity, earning income. Now, things could change. The algorithms for YouTube can change. The algorithms for Google can change, and that would or could affect the income that is coming in from those businesses. But that's why we have multiple streams. So we're not relying solely on YouTube. We're not relying solely on the blog. We're not relying solely on Etsy or the publishing. We're taking all of those together to create this income. And currently, right now, if we take out the $3,300 that we already have covered through the subsidy, through Kurt's pension, as well as the rental income that we're only counting the totals for now, that would leave us with about a $1,500 gap that we need to create in business income right now to get us to that point. So right now, if we're taking out everything that we already know we're going to have, we just need about $1,500 more in business income. And that's completely a realistic goal. In all likelihood, we will probably exceed that. So it's really a low bar for us, but it also makes this a more realistic goal and makes it more achievable for us. Now, you might be asking, so what are you saving money? Are you investing? And the answer to that is yes. We're doing all these things, creating all these streams of income, but we are also saving for our retirement in retirement accounts. We currently save about 30% of our income through his job, but he also has a 403B as well as a 457 that we are investing in as well. In addition to that, we have some after-tax accounts that we invest in. These are dividend accounts. We also do a little bit of cryptocurrency, not a whole lot, just a little bit. But we are saving in addition to creating these income streams. However, we do not plan to use our investment accounts to live off at retirement. We have made the decision, since we are focusing on income streams, we are going to use what's left in our retirement accounts and our investment accounts to create generational wealth for our children. We do plan on leaving money to our children. Curtis and I both came from families who struggled, lived paycheck to paycheck. We both have significant student loans, and we don't want that for our children. That's not to say that we will be paying for all of their education or, spoiling them or buying them all these things or just throwing the money at them. What we're doing to ensure that this is truly generational wealth and lasts for more than one generation after us is we are teaching our kids finances. We are talking to our kids about money. We are talking to them about saving. We are talking to them about building businesses. So we feel really good about being able to leave this money to our children and having them not just blow all the money. So I'm going to link down below a really wonderful article about leaving 7 generations of wealth. It's written by J.L. Collins, who's the godfather of the FIRE movement. He's an amazing individual. I recommend his book all the time, which is The Simple Path to Wealth. But this article that he wrote on his blog talks about living in a way that you're not just creating money for just one generation or 2 generations. You're looking forward, and each generation that money doesn't belong to them, that it's a gift for future generations, 7 generations on down the line. It's a really wonderful article, and I hope that you take a look at it. All right, guys, well, that is it for today. I hope that you got something out of this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'd love to have you back. In our next video, we're going to talk about how we bought a house for under $25,000. We're going to talk about the steps that we took to get that. Where do you find these houses, and how you can start building your real estate investment portfolio like we have. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.